everybody. We're Jenny and
I'm Emma
from the Musser Public Library, and today we'd like to take you on a tour of Weed Park. This is called
A Walkabout History.
Dr. James Weed moved to Bloomington, now Muscatine, in 1839. He was Muscatine's first dentist, but only practiced for a few years. His real interest was in horticulture, especially pomology, which refers to the breeding of fruits and other plants. He purchased 400 acres of land on the east side of what is now Muscatine's Park Avenue. In 1899, James and his wife Mary decided to leave 63 acres from the southeast corner of their farm to the city to be used as a park. Development of the park started during their lifetime, and Mary was active in organizing the Park Society to develop their legacy for the community. Weed Park continues to be a popular gathering place today.
So Jenny, Weed Park is one of the oldest city parks, but was this neighborhood always here?
Actually, no, it wasn't, Emma. This was donated by the Weeds. That's where the name comes from. And in 1927, these pillars were placed here at the entrance to the park. And they placed these really cool bronze plaques. And I'll just read, I know you can read, but I'll read it aloud for you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Erected in 1927 in memory of James and Mary Weed, who donated this park to the city of Muscatine in 1899.
That was so long ago.
It was. And you know how people got here?
No.
Well, obviously downtown is more that way.
Yeah.
And since this was kind of country, you know, they had a trolley.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, I think the trolley service didn't actually start running out to this location until 1905.
Okay.
But if you look over there, you can see there's a shelter and kind of what almost looks like a road. And I'm about 99% sure that that was probably the trolley stop and the waiting station.
That would make sense. That's a good spot for it.
Yeah, it really is. Coming right off Washington Street.
In order to please park-loving citizens, cannons were requested once again from the U.S. War Department, specifically for Weed Park. They were accepted by the city in December of 1905, and while the announcement was met with excitement all across Muscatine, the city of Burlington felt the need to comment in the Hawkeye, saying Muscatine applied for her share of the relics of the war, and she got them in the shape of 2 cannons, which will be mounted in her park, threatening annihilation to any daring foe. In reality, to make a roosting place for sparrows, and perhaps a trysting place for romantic lovers who can weave delightful fancies about those old relics. As the date of the cannon's arrival drew closer, there seemed to be an inconsistency in regards to how much they would weigh. Some reports were 15,000 pounds, others claimed them to be 16,000, and one article changed the wording to 8 tons. They arrived in March 1906, and the city engineer needed a team of 12 horses to move the first cannon to the park. The second cannon only took 8 horses, which again contributed to this question of the weight debate. It seems kind of funny in hindsight because when you come out to look at these cannons, their weights are printed right on them. It tells you right here how much these cannons weigh. 15,000 pounds, 1866. So I don't know why people were so confused. They could just see it right here. So it's 1906, the cannons are in the park, perfect, all done, right? Wrong. It took another 5 years to get these cannons mounted on their cement pads. First, there were debates over whether the cannons should be mounted facing up to the sky or over to the river. And then the city realized how expensive mounting them would be, especially after the unexpected $600 in freight, which is around $20,000 in today's money. Public opinion of the cannons quickly flipped, with headlines calling them a disgrace to the beautiful park and statements like, "A concrete base is surely needed. If not, they will probably be found at the bottom of the bluff some morning." And we can see the cannons are still on the edge of the bluff. So if these were just lying on the ground, they very much could just roll down this hill. By August 1910, a plan was in place to raise money for the cannons concrete. Weed Park would host a ball game between the city and county officials. All ticket sales would be used to mount the cannons. I personally would not be good on a baseball team. I don't know, I'm sure there's some library staff who would make very good baseball players. I would not be one of them. These cannons would never be mounted if it was up to me. But regardless, the city and county prevailed, and in January 1911, the cannons were mounted and officially named forever, or maybe not, since this was the first we have heard of it, to be known as General Grant and General Sherman. Which is which? Your guess is as good as mine. That is not stated on the cannons. Called the Gift of the Year, Muscatine accepted 2 deer in 1913 from George Altender, a former Muscatine citizen then living in Orofino, Idaho. For the express charges of 10 cents per pound, the city would receive a buck and a doe to live in Weed Park. This would be the humble start of Weed Park Zoo. To obtain these charter zoo members, permission had to be granted by both the game warden and the governor of Idaho, and they arrived in January 1914. Named Chip and Bessie, citizens were advised to refrain from feeding them candy and tobacco, and that corn and oats are good for them, but too much corn is not. By 1918, the zoo had 2 cinnamon bears, Tommy and Sadie Sugars. Hopes of them becoming a mating pair were short-lived though, as upon Sadie's arrival, she cast a hostile glance at Tommy, and within the day, Miss Bear was walking about the cage while Tommy occupied his den, shaking his head in protest to the ringing of wedding bells. Plans for an elephant were announced in 1958 after a debate between its acquisition or that of 2 polar bears. While the elephant would be more expensive, the Park Commission said it would be a greater attraction than the polar bears. The baby Asian elephant was 6 years old, stood 56 inches, and weighed about 1,100 pounds. A contest was hosted by the Journal to choose a name for this baby girl, and the winner would receive an all-expense trip to Chicago in order to visit the Brookfield Zoo. With over 2,000 entries, Candy, spelled with a K, though later the spelling would be interchangeable, was chosen. A second elephant, Eleanor, was purchased in 1959 to serve as a stand-in for Candy, who was touring the area. The third elephant, Dolly, arrived at the zoo in 1966 after Candy outgrew the park's budget.